70% of people who fail the Antigravity install think the app is broken. It isn't. They change the install.
Roughly 70% of Windows installs that change the install path end up in an OAuth loop. You sign in, Chrome says you are signed in, and Antigravity never receives the token. It looks like the app is broken. It is not broken. You moved it off the default path, and that is the single most common way a first day with Antigravity dies. Antigravity 2.0 launched on May 27, 2026, as a standalone agent-first desktop application. This is the onramp, and it comes down to 7 decisions you make in the first hour. Every one of them is boring. Every one of them is the difference between the agent feeling powerful and the agent feeling useless. 3 tripwires account for almost every sign-in complaint. 1. Install to the default path in program files and do not touch the picker. 2. Set Chrome as the system default browser, because the OAuth redirect targets a Chrome URL handler and any other browser dead ends. 3. Sign in with a personal Gmail. Workspace accounts are rejected during preview, and the error message never tells you that is the reason. If you are already stuck, uninstall, reboot, reinstall to the default path. Your config survives. The full onramp class is on the site free, no sign-up and no email. It has the install walkthrough and every setting. Grab it now, because the next part is the one that actually changes how you work. Here is the shift that catches everyone coming from version 1, or from Cursor, or from VS Code. Projects replaced workspaces. A workspace was one folder. A project can span several folders at once, so your front-end repo and your backend repo live inside the same project, and the agent sees both. Each project carries its own settings, its own MCP servers, its own skills and its own permissions. You will reach for open folder, and it will not be there the way you expect. Underneath, everything moved. Version 1 kept a single global config tree that applied to every workspace. Version 2 keeps settings per project, plus an AGENTS.md file at each project root. The Gemini CLI retired on June 18th, and the Antigravity CLI AGE replaced it as a superset. Permissions moved from one global list to per project scopes. If you treat this as a coat of paint, you will spend an afternoon hunting for things that are not where you left them. Plan mode should be your default for anything touching more than one file. You describe the change, and instead of editing anything, the agent writes an implementation plan into the auxiliary pane in the top right. The single most common beginner mistake is clicking proceed without reading it. That plan is the whole review gate. Reading it is the difference between supervised autonomy and watching an agent confidently rewrite something you needed. AGENTS.md sits at the project root and holds the agent persona, the model defaults, the tool bindings, and your guardrails. Because it lives with the code rather than in a global config, it travels. Fork the project or hand it to somebody else, and the rules come along. That is what makes an Antigravity project portable, instead of tied to your machine. Plan your disk honestly. The install guide says 2 GB free, and that gets you through setup. The real number after 3 months of heavy use on our own machine is about 40 GB across 82,286 files. Conversation history, browser recordings, and an automatic backup mirror are what grow. If you intend to lean on the agent, leave 50 GB free. One we hit ourselves. Our config ended up with 3 project bindings all pointing at the same folder, named DVA Academy, DVA Academy 2, and DVA Academy 3. It happens when you reopen a folder after deleting a project entry. Only the most recent one actually drives agent context, so they are harmless, but they pile up. Keep the newest, delete the others, restart, and the sidebar repopulates from the file system. The habit that has to change is the typing one. In Cursor or VS Code, you write code, and the model completes it beside you. Here you describe what you want, and the agent writes it. So treat that prompt box like a conversation with a senior developer who has no context yet. Name the file, the goal, the constraints, and what done looks like. Composing the instruction is the skill now, not composing the syntax. So that is the first hour. Default install path. Chrome as your system default, personal Gmail. Create a project rather than opening a folder. Stay in plan mode. Read the auxiliary pane before you proceed and put an AGENTS.md at the root. The full class walks all 10 first launch steps with the screenshots. It is free, there is no sign-up, no email, and no paywall.